My name is Ben AT&T. I'm a freshman at University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. I'm 19 years old, and I'm a race car driver. And I started racing when I was about 7, and I've always been interested in cars ever since I was little. I started watching cars from my porch when I was probably 3 or 4, just trying to name all the cars that went by with my mom. And I started go-karting when I was 7, and that's kind of the first step you take if you want to become a professional race car driver. A couple people started to notice that I was fast, and they said, "Hey, you should keep doing this. You can actually do this as a profession." And I gradually moved from karts to cars when I was 15 years old. So I raced go-karts beginning since 7 years old to around 14, 15, then I moved to cars. And ever since then, I've been racing a Mazda MX-5, which is a street car turned into a race car. So every time I get out of a car, whether it's a practice session or a qualifying session, in preparation for the race ahead, I always have to go over video the second I get out of the car. And the connection that AT&T gives me, I'm able to stream it with my coach, who's not always with me at the race weekends, and I'm also able to go over timing information with my competitors to see where they're faster versus where I'm faster on the track, and it just really gives me a big opportunity to improve. I use Ustream. Mazda actually has a separate channel. It's called Mazda Live, and they broadcast video. And I also use YouTube to post a video within minutes, and my coach can view it back home or wherever he is. He often travels as well. I also use this app called Race Monitor, which gives me a big list of all the times of my competitors, and I'm able to compare where I am versus others, so I can see where I'm faster, where they're faster, and I can prove from there. And of course, the myriad of social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, just to broadcast myself, because a lot of what racing is promoting yourself and to get your name out there. So Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, those are the 3 main platforms that I use, and AT&T is, I don't know, I've actually never been to a track where I've never had service. Part of being a race car driver is being able to show your sponsors what you're doing, and that's a big part of it being in partnership with a sponsor. So in order to do that, I take pictures and photos and video, and I'm instantly being able to send those pictures to a sponsor to say, "Hey, this is what I'm doing. Maybe you want to share it on your page because it's interesting." And they're really grateful that I'm able to do that. Whenever, literally, I can take a selfie from the car and send it and instantly share it to them. Or video, I can take a selfie with another driver, and they're like, "Oh, maybe we want to sponsor him." So it's also great, not just for me as a driver, but for sponsors who might also be interested in me driving. I also upload all my videos to YouTube from all the race weekends, and it's important for fans to get that connection, to see what you're doing right in the car. It's awesome to see my fan base and the people who are following me grow from just 5 or 10 people, some close friends and family, grow from that little pool to a much, much greater one. And to just see that exponential improvement is something that really inspires me to touch base with my fans more and to go to different events and to connect with them and actually improve as a driver, because it's not hard to find motivation, but that motivation is incredibly powerful. And I think that with that, there's no real telling of where I could go next. A typical day for me is pretty busy. To be able to juggle school and racing and music for me is very difficult, but the 3 things that I'm very passionate about, so I find time in the day to make them happen. I usually, as many chances as I can get, fly home during the weekend to New York to go practice, because if you're not practicing, then it's hard to keep up with everyone else who is. And I always go to Grand Prix New York to refine my skills at the go-kart track. That's where I started, and it's a really, really great facility. And I also go to Lime Rock Park, which is another track in the area, and being able to do that is something that is really important to do as a race car driver, because you always have to be practicing. So I mean, going back and forth, juggling school and racing, it's very, very busy.